coming out. So, I'm Alec Brownstein. I'm the Vice President of Creative at Dollar Shave Club. I joined Dollar Shave Club in 2013. At that time, we had, I think, close to like 50,000 monthly members. Now we're, I think, around like 3.5 million who get a box from us every month or every other month. If you're not familiar with Dollar Shave Club, we deliver razors and other bathroom supplies to the doors of our members on a monthly or bi-monthly basis. And, what kind of put us on the map was the original launch video, which I'm sure everybody has seen, and that was created not by me, that was created by the founder, Michael Dubin, and it's sort of gone down as sort of a legendary thing in the startup world. It really kind of blasted them onto the map. My background is in advertising and creative problem solving. I worked at advertising agencies really around the country, mostly in New York, which is where I used to live, until I came to the West Coast to work at Dollar Shave Club. I actually wasn't planning on showing this, but let me show something that I did to kind of put myself on the map in a way. You might remember it. It was brought up to me earlier today, and I said, hey, why not show it? So it was called the Google Job Experiment, and maybe you've seen it. This, I don't know if you saw it at the time, but this is what happened after I made that video.
Oh, hello. I'm Alec Brownstein. I created the Google Job Experiment. I spent $6 on some Google ads in an effort to get a job from a top creative firm. I thought best case scenario, I'd get a job. And I actually got the job I wanted at Y&R New York. Now I thought that was the end of the story. But then it got out into the world. And the world was interested in my little ad experiment. Really, really interested. Practically overnight, I was making appearances on the CBS Early Show, BBC, NPR, and a whole bunch of other broadcast outlets around the world.
Alec was hired by Ian Reichenthal, and they are both with us this morning to tell us the story.
So what I did was I decided where I wanted to work, which was at Young Rubicam in New York, which is a very creative advertising agency. So I put in a bid for the names Ian Reichenthal, Scott Vitrone, and Tony Granger, so that when the three of them Googled themselves, my ad would show up on top. Young Rubicam New York is a great agency, really creative, a lot of great clients, and I'm enjoying doing the work for them.
Do you listen to a lot of Danish radio? I was on that too.
Familie kan ik Alec et job købe som en knæveplads.
I started out as a 15-cent ad intended for an audience of 5 creative directors in New York City. Got seen by a lot more people. 9.4 million social media impressions. 15 million print impressions. 240 million web impressions. 4.8 billion broadcast impressions. Wow. So the total impressions for me and for Y&R, take a guess. 5.1 billion. That's billion with a B. To put that in perspective, in 2009, the Doritos Crash the Super Bowl promotion, which included a months-long online contest and 3 spots on the actual Super Bowl, earned 1.4 billion impressions. Google Job Job experiment, 5.1 billion. It's not bad for $6.
Nice.
Thank you. So it's funny, that's not even really what I'm here to talk about today. But I thought that'd be interesting for, budding entrepreneurs and people trying to break through. So I've worked at Dollar Shave Club since early days. I've written all the ads that you've seen, social post copy. I've helped develop the brand voice. Pretty much anything you see out in the world from Dollar Shave Club, it's likely that I had some hand in. So what I'd like to do is just go through some of the stuff we've done, look at some of the ads. We're going to look at some TV ads, some internet ads. We'll look at some Facebook stuff, some email, and then we'll just kind of open it up to questions and have a conversation about it. So one thing that there's going to be an overarching thing in everything you see here, which is the truth. And I'm a strong believer that when you create a piece of outbound messaging, it has to be grounded in a truth. If there's not a truth there, you're going to tune out. So what our formula in general is start with the truth, and then we, because of our senses of humor, we take it to the absurd. So you'll see some fun stuff here. There's going to be some ridiculous stuff here, but I believe, and I hope you agree, it's all grounded in a fundamental truth. So this is an ad we did in 2014.
Hi, can you open the razor case, please?
What do I do?
We're just grabbing some razors.
Grabbing? Can you get Stinger in there, sir, please?
I just need to get in a case
Why do you need to get in the case so bad?
so I can buy some razors.
It's almost like they don't want you to buy their razors. Well, I want you to buy mine. DollarShaveClub.com delivers amazing razors for just $2.
So in that case, obviously, the truth is it is inconvenient to buy razors at the store.
Okay, put back the razors, please.
Comes to 1965.
What? That's a lot.
Yeah. Comes with a free gift.
Oh, free gift? That's cool.
Tired of getting beat up by high razor prices? DollarShaveClub.com gives amazing razors for just a few bucks. Free gift.
This is one that we did. Okay, so the truth there is razors are expensive, and it feels like you're getting beat up when you're overpaying. This was an ad that you might have seen. It was on the Super Bowl last year. Unless it's not going to load. Well, here it goes.
Hey, Matt. Ready to shave?
Oh, hey, I've been using you forever. You're grimy.
Grab No, not personality. Hey, the white. Jump in. Let's all shave.
Change that filthy razor.
Change blades. Woo, rich folk alert. Move me with your linoleum towel.
Stop hanging out with your dirt bag razor because new ones are so expensive.
Dollar Shave Club. These razors for a few bucks. Shave with a fresh blade anytime. Try DollarShaveClub.com.
Anyone recognize the voice of the scummy razor?
It was me.
This is a web video we did for shave butter, which is a product we sell. So that was a very low budget. There was some iPhone footage in there if you saw, and that was for our shave butter, and a lot of the balloon puppeteering. We were doing that underneath. So kind of the takeaway there is you don't need a massive budget to make something that's fun and impactful online. One of the things we've done at Dollar Shave Club is we've created sub brands for our different grooming verticals. So one of the brands that we've recently launched is called Big Cloud, and that's our line of skincare. And sort of the thinking with Big Cloud is that you don't have to compromise with trade-offs when you're using skin protection products. So, for example, normally if you use hand cream, your hands are very greasy. So that's a truth. So we kind of had some fun with that in this next video, which appeared online.
David, welcome. I'm Mr. Weber. Your hand is really greasy.
Yeah, people notice. Protect and moisturize your hands without the greasy residue. Try Big Cloud Good Shake Hand Cream, exclusively by Dollar Shave Club.
And this is one that we just did, and you might even see it on TV right now. This is for our line of shower products called Wanderer. And the thinking behind Wanderer is that what you might not notice until we kind of bring it to your attention is there's just a lot of marketing BS in the shower category with things like 72-hour moisture blast technology or like explosive, moisture beads and all these different ridiculous things. So our technique on Wanderer is just to be straightforward and honest, to tell you what you're getting and to not overmarket to you. So this one is for the body wash.
Hey babe, you make new body wash, right? How about this one? Massive Hero. It's got a fully jacked amino protein delivery system. It's pretty manly.
How about a shower product that's more you? Try Wanderer by Dollar Shave Club. Straightforward ingredients and honest fragrances like mint and cedarwood. Exclusively by Dollar Shave Club.
A couple more ads, and then we'll get to the questions, I promise.
Okay, you need razors?
I can still use my old blade.
Who?
Don't labor with an old razor because new ones are so expensive. Dollar Shave Club. Amazing razor for a few bucks. Shave with a fresh blade anytime. Try DollarShaveClub.com.
Excuse me, do you have the keys for the razor case?
No.
Can anyone help me get some razors? No.
It's kind of like they don't want you to buy razors. DollarShaveClub.com delivers amazing razors for just a few bucks.
This one's on TV right now.
Psst, there's a smarter choice.
Here with a smarter choice. My razors will get you a high quality shave at a very economical price.
Cool.
Nope, can't have this one. It's display. Try our best razor with free shipping at DollarShaveClub.com.
This is a couple things, so obviously not everyone's ready to do TV ads or, big production campaigns. This is on the right is a Facebook ad we created that's been very successful for us. It's talking to women, and obviously we're slinging razors on the internet, but what we managed to do with this Facebook ad is tap into a larger conversation that was happening online and in culture, which is, why do women have to pay a pink tax? Why do feminine branded products have to cost more? And so what we did was we just showed our razor twice and said, here's the his version, here's the hers version. And it's like profoundly simple. It's not an expensive ad to make, but we kind of came up with an interesting way to talk to half the population in a way that is resonant. And it's funny, even as I was saying, why do women have to pay more? I saw women around the room nodding, because it is one of these things that, for whatever reason, we've just accepted. And so, that's a resonant thing we've kind of tapped into. And the last thing is, this is just an email as part of a larger campaign we're doing for the holidays. The idea here is that our gift, our DSC Holiday Shave Set, is so good, it puts other gifts to shame. And it's the most wonderful time of the year, unless you're a gift other than the DSC Holiday Shave Set. And so we have a whole campaign with those. That's social, it's email. There's even some sort of video assets with that. So that's the work I brought to talk to you about. I think, if there's one thing I want you to take away, it's that we believe it's all grounded in truth. And some of it is ridiculous, some of it is absurd, but our formula is a truth, a resonant truth, and then a memorable execution, and we believe that's what breaks through. So yeah, that's all I have to show for you today, and I'd love it if you have questions or comments or anything like that. Thanks.
That was actually a really hilarious presentation in terms of all the videos that you guys created. Those commercials were awesome. And some of them were on a shoestring budget, it seems, and some of them were a little bit more expensive, higher production quality. And it's really just cool to see that you can be effective and viral in that, regardless of your budget. So I think that's really important for us, as we're all entrepreneurs trying to find ways to market our product or service. So I'm sure you have some really great advice. We're going to plug into that through the Q&A. So if you have a question, raise your hand. That guy in the back definitely does. But if you want to share a story or a comment or something like that, just save it for offline so we can get through the questions quickly. Alec, will you be hanging out with us a little bit afterwards?
Sure.
Okay, so share your stories afterwards. He'll be here. Questions? John will walk around with the mic. Raise your hand. Thanks.
Thank you very much. I'd be interested in how you obtain the consumer insights that led to the content that you create for building community among your club members.
That's a good question. It ends up looking simple, and it ends up looking like it makes sense, but at its core, like, truths are simple, and if you tap into an emotion, for example, like, it doesn't feel good paying for overpriced razors to a monopoly, like, that is a true feeling. So anything you create from that simple insight will result in more resonant work, because it is true. In terms of how we do it, like, we talk to our members. We want to know what they're thinking. We talk to people. The best advice I can give you is just always think like a consumer. Too many marketing people think like marketing people, and they have their bulleted checklist of what they want to tell you about the product or tell you about the service. But you kind of have to take off that hat and just think like, I'm just a guy. I'm sitting at home. Got the TV on. I got the laptop on my lap. The kid's crying. The dog's barking. I don't really care about your checklist of facts. So if you can give me something simple and sticky that can, rattle around my head, that's going to stay with me.
Hi, I'm curious how you drive traffic to that Facebook page where they see that.
Well, Facebook is a pay-for-play platform. It doesn't matter whether they may say it's a social network, but at its core, it's a display advertising network. And, when you or I or Dollar Shave Club's Facebook page posts something, Nobody really will see it unless you pay. So I wish there was a better answer than that, but ultimately Facebook is pay for play, and what you can do to maximize that is create engaging content so that there will be some organic reach added to the paid reach. But it's very, very difficult these days to just create something without putting a budget behind it and expecting it to be seen or to spread.
So this is more of a version 2 of the first question. So the key thing you said in the beginning was really awesome about start with a truth that resonates and then kind of go nuts from there. So what is that discovery process and then testing it out? You said talk to customers, but is there more of a methodical approach to like, okay, let's discover this truth, let's experiment with this, and then go back and forth till we find something that really, really resonates? I'm guessing you don't just come up with the truth and then throw something out there with $1 million marketing budget.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, there's a lot of things that are true, right? But what we're looking for is like the basic human truth that you can tap into. That's not like, if I say, give me a truth about that coffee mug, you can say like, it's white. And that's a truth about it, but it's not something I really care about. So with every product or every service, what you're looking for is like, what is that like basic human truth that we as human beings are gonna feel something about? And ultimately, like, you'll know in your gut when you're onto something because it is true. And not only that, another way to kind of stress test it is when you have a truth, when you have an insight, the executions are much easier to come up with. So if you're saying like, okay, you know, the truth is this, how do I say that? If you're having real difficulty figuring out how to say that, it's probably not a simple enough truth. So once you have the truth, the sort of ways to explain the truth should just kind of come spilling out in a way.
Back here. So my favorite part about getting my box every month is the bathroom minutes, and I wonder if you would talk about what led you to creating that sort of newsletter format and then the original content that you're producing more recently.
Yeah, so for those who don't know, if you are a member of Dollar Shave Club, when you get your replacement cartridges in the mail, it comes with a bathroom reader, which is called the Bathroom Minutes, which some of the early ones, back in the day, I actually had to write all of those, and it was miserable because it was so much work. But I think you're getting to a good point, which is that, look, we sell razors on the internet. There's nothing that's like, whoa, like I can buy razors on Amazon. What makes it different? And so what we really stress is these sort of surprise and delight moments for our members. So it's not just a blank box with razors in it. On the razor sleeve, there's fun little messages about how great it feels to shave with a fresh blade. In the box, there's something to read when you're in the bathroom with, you know, engaging entertaining and educational content in it. Ultimately, we're fostering a deeper connection with all of our members because we want them to live better, healthier, more fruitful lives. So again, if you go back to sort of the human truth and sort of the emotion, like, yeah, we are shaving them, and we could get in there and we could talk all about, hey, we're going to shave your face, or we're going to shave your legs, or whatever, but we're trying to form a deeper connection with them, and things like content and the bathroom minutes and sort of a lot of the collateral stuff we do, that is what's sticky. That is what makes people love us and want to stick around.
Alec, thank you so much for coming. I was super excited because I've been following your marketing for a few years, and I read an article where it talks about your founder saying that he had a background in improv. And so I'm curious about what it's like to be in one of your meetings, because is it like a big improv group where you're all just trying to find the game? And if that's the case, what's one of your favorite moments from your meetings where you can just recall something like that happening?
Well, if this video is going public, I love our founder, Michael. Michael's great, huge talent, and yeah, he does have an improv background. I think where the improv background you'll see most in our work is, within an improv scene, you'll say like, okay, if this is true, what else is true? And the what else is often what's funny. That's what's ridiculous. So we live in a world where this is true. That must mean this other absurd thing is true. So getting to that absurd, unexpected thing is what will make our advertising and our marketing memorable. So I do believe that a lot of it could kind of be an improv sketch. So yeah, Michael is still very involved in a lot of what we do, and in a lot of the ads, and in a lot of the concepts. And obviously, you see that he as an actor is in it, or he's the voiceover. Favorite moment, it is a lot. It is a lot of just when we're trying to come up with ideas, it's a lot of just like spitballing. It's probably closer to like a writer's room than it is to like an improv sketch where we're just kind of like bandying around ideas and trying to come up with what we believe is the funniest or most memorable.
So my question is about the Google job experiment.
Yeah.
How long did it take once you placed the ads to when they saw it and it blew up? How long was that time?
I created the ads and I just sort of let them out like fishing lines and just kind of lobbed them out there. I believe it was probably like a month and a half. There was no search volume because the only people searching for that name is that person. I think my bid was like 15 cents a click, and so I didn't really care. All in, it cost $6. I had the luxury of time. I had a job, and so I figured, what do I have to lose? I'm just lob these ads out there and see what happens. And after about a month and a half, the responses started trickling in, and they always said the same thing, which is that someone else was Googling me and told me about this. And I said, sure, yeah, whatever, that's great. I'm trying to get a job interview, too. I don't Google myself either.
Any changes since you guys became part of Unilever?
No, we're still, I don't know a ton about sort of the workings, but it's my belief that they acquired us to be us. And so we are continuing to operate with the same executive leadership, and we're continuing on our same mission, and having them kind of in our corner is just a huge advantage.
Hi, Alec. My name is Mike. I'm here with my partners. We're creatives as well. You had a tremendous amount of Creative Cloud right after you did your job experiment, and then translating that into the advertising world, and then getting your job at Dollar Shave Club. What has been, I guess, the edict from Michael now, translating that into the videos? Looking at your videos, obviously, really aware of you and kind of what Michael did with the first viral video. Now that you're tasked with doing more traditional creative, is it more in the house voice, or is it to try to replicate that virality with the first video, or what is your goal, and how is that big viral moment kind of, I guess, dictated the trajectory of your career? And then the work that you make as a result of that?
It's a good question. You too often you get people saying like, we want to make a viral video, and when people say like, oh, we're going to make a viral video, it's like saying you're going to write a best-selling novel. Like, you're going to write a novel and you're going to hope it's best-selling. You're going to make a video and you're going to hope it goes viral. Michael's original video was a grand slam. And I think it's unrealistic to think that everything we do is going to have that same trajectory. Ultimately, like singles and doubles, like we're happy with those. We're looking for on-base percentage. I think that that original video really helped set the tone for the brand and helped create the brand voice of who we are and what we do, and we're sort of straight talking and no BS. In terms of my moment of virality with the Google job thing, ultimately it opened some doors for me. It got me into positions where I could start talking to some other people and having some new opportunities. But I don't ever recommend, nor do I ever promise that it's like what we're gonna do is gonna go crazy viral, because there's just no way to guarantee that. I mean. Between like Facebook's changing algorithm and like other things happening in the world, there's just a confluence of so many things that contribute to virality that it's, you know, a fool's errand to try to nail that every single time.
I was just wondering, we saw a lot of videos from you, and you started when it was just 50,000 subscribers, and now it's, you know, up to 3.5 million. So how did the videos and the overall strategy at 50,000, how did that, you know, how was that hand in hand, and what was sort of the vision of the strategy to build it out beyond 50,000?
You know, I don't think we were ever I don't think there's ever been a number where we're like, well, once we get to that number, we're done. You know, I think we just continue to say truthful, resonant things. I think we continue to be on a mission to make our members' lives better. You know, the most important thing we do, and it is not what I do. It's not the marketing. It's delivering on the marketing. You know, in today's social world, like, I could do a great ad that promises something, but then if you get the thing and it's a piece of crap, you're just going to be like, well, these guys are full of it. And you're going to go online, you're going to tell your friends. If you see our ad, you're going to comment, I tried it, it stinks. So the most important thing we can do is delivering on our promises and telling the truth. So, you know, I think we've done a really good job delivering on our promises and the experience of getting a box from us. Or if you have a problem and you're talking to one of our member service associates, they're going to give you great service. Our products are legitimately great products. So ultimately, you know, I think that's what takes you from 50,000 to 3.5 million. It's not like some, you know, silver bullet strategy that just gets you there. It's, you know, we're relying on the truth, we're relying on being who we are, and then delivering on our promises, because that is what's going to make someone stick around, and that's what's going to make it spread. And you're going to tell your friend, the razors are great, you know, the products are great, they're really fun people, you should try it too.
I don't actually have a question. I just want to thank you for addressing the absurdity of the pink tax, and we need more of that out there.
Thank you. Yeah, we've really seen some great success, like spurring that conversation.
Let's say you're going to launch a consumer brand today in 2016 and you have limited budget and resources. What channel would you focus on and give advice on?
You know, so much of social media has become pay for play, and then we kind of talked about that. You know, if I were to do something now, I think the best way to kind of like get it out there might be PR. If you think about it, like, these guys, you can either try to build your own audience and then pay to reach that audience, or you can pay to reach someone who already has an audience and they can tell about your product. But that goes back to sort of delivering on your promises. So if you have a great product or a great brand and you give it to a reporter or an editor or whoever, like, they might just write about it if you have a compelling story. If your product stinks, you can have all the PR in the world. They're not going to write about it, or they're not going to write favorably about it. So I think, you know, free media is a good way to begin, if you can get it.
Would you care to tell us who had the brilliance of vision to make the drop shadow on hers just ever so slightly heavier than the drop shadow on his?
You know, I think that might just be on the monitor. I think it's actually identical. I think that was kind of the entire point of it. Is it's like, yeah, it's the same.
Thank you for making us laugh. And yeah, ovation. And I'm wondering, I have a lot of funny writer friends, and we're here in Los Angeles. Funny is just everywhere, and I'm wondering, you know, setting aside that you can't target, you know, viral as a goal in your ad, why aren't ads just more pleasant? Just funny, where I don't get irritated in the first 5 seconds and click through. You know, I'm thinking of like for some reason insurance, like Geico and Allstate. You know, they're just fun. The Mayhem guy, it's just funny. And I enjoy watching them. And I just wonder, why is it that so, I mean, what, 90%?
More than 90%.
The ad,
99%
they just
of that.
they're not even trying. They completely miss the point. And it's just old news, and it's just not pleasant to watch. There's so much money dumped into it, and it's not that hard to make something funny and low budget, frankly.
Yeah. Well, so, a couple things about that. One is that, the ones you mentioned, Allstate or Geico and sort of our stuff, we have a very singular message. We're not trying to cram 50 things, 50 different points of difference into every piece of messaging. And so that happens a lot. You'll see a commercial and they're like, well, we want you to know that our product is cheap, and it's better, and it's waterproof, and, it's dustproof, and, you can travel abroad with it. And
But wait, there's more.
So you end up, just cramming everything in there, and you take nothing away. Whereas when you think about Geico, like everybody in here could say, 15 minutes saves you 15%. Their whole thing, one simple message: save money on your insurance. Allstate mayhem, bad things happen, you need insurance if bad things happen. Those are very simple statements that they're trying to make. The second point is that people are not thinking like consumers, right? Like, you think about it, you're at home, you're doing all these other things. You don't give a crap about some ad, but the marketing person at the company does, and they've got their checklist of things that they put in their ad so that they can take it to their boss and say, look, I hit all the checklist points, I don't know why it didn't work. And the reason more often than not is you're not thinking about the person watching the ad. You can do ad testing out the yazoo, but there's no guarantee someone will watch your ad. You can't test for that. So, think about the consumer, think about the singularity of your message, and just be focused. And I believe that's the formula. If you inject some humor into that, you're going to have good advertising.
One last question.
Hi. As the consumers embrace more and more subscription products, I'm wondering, has your marketing mix evolved on which platforms you use for customer acquisition?
We're constantly looking at everything out there to, be where, what do they say, go where the fish are, kind of a thing. Fish where the fish are. So, there's the big players, there's, Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and all these different things. But, if a new platform comes out, or if a platform's getting saturated, like, we'll look elsewhere. And I think, one of the most important things we can do is we don't want to be married. We only know how to do it this one way and in this one place. And so if that dries up, or if competition heats up, or if it becomes too expensive to acquire there, we have to be agile. We have to be able to take our message elsewhere. And I believe there's a universality to what we're saying and doing that can work in a lot of different places, not just TV or radio or whatever.
Excellent. Thank you so much for your questions, guys, and for amazing presentation.